Imagine for a moment that every challenge you've faced, every setback, every no you've ever heard is actually pointing you towards something greater. What if I told you that the moment you truly believe everything you desire is already on its way, your entire life begins to shift instantly? Not someday, not when conditions are perfect, but right now. Belief is the spark that ignites momentum. It changes how you think, how you act, how the world responds to you. Tonight, I want you to feel that power because the life you've been waiting for is already coming if you believe it. See, everything begins with belief. I want you to really feel that for a moment. Every breakthrough, every success, every transformation that's ever happened in your life, it started here in this invisible space inside your mind. It started with a belief, and not just any belief, but the kind of belief that refuses to be shaken by circumstance, the kind that persists even when the world seems to be saying the opposite. You might think that belief is something small, something passive, maybe even naive, but I want to challenge you today. Belief is not passive. It's the foundation, the engine, the magnet that pulls your entire life into alignment. Think about it. What you believe about yourself, about your potential, about the possibilities available to you, this is the lens through which you view reality. If you believe that life is hard, that opportunities are rare, that doors are closed to you, your brain, your emotions, and your behaviors will align to prove it. You will subconsciously filter every experience to match that belief. You will see obstacles, delays, failures, and you'll say, see, I told you it wouldn't work. That's the power of belief. It shapes perception before you even take action. Now, imagine flipping that. Imagine waking up every day with the unshakable belief that life is working for you, that doors are opening, that opportunities are appearing in ways you might not even yet understand. When you hold that belief, everything begins to shift, not magically, not overnight, but almost imperceptibly at first. Your mind starts scanning for solutions. Your body begins to move in alignment with possibility. You notice opportunities where before you saw only limitations. You start to feel a sense of flow, a momentum that wasn't there when you were caught in doubt. And here's the thing. It's not because the world changed. It's because your belief changed first. Belief doesn't mean ignoring reality. It doesn't mean pretending challenges don't exist or walking blindly into danger. It's not about luck. It's about aligning yourself with a higher possibility, with the understanding that life responds to certainty. When you genuinely believe in a positive outcome, your mind starts to make decisions that match that belief. You notice the person who can help you, the solution that's been sitting right in front of you, the small step that suddenly becomes obvious. Belief acts like a filter, guiding your attention and your energy toward everything that supports the outcome you want. Let me be clear. Belief is not some vague feeling you hope will show up one day. It's a choice you make every morning. It's a decision to tell yourself, I can, I will, I am capable. And this choice is more powerful than almost anything else you could do. Because when you choose to believe, your brain begins to rewire itself. It strengthens neural pathways that support confidence, that support creativity, that support resilience. Suddenly, failure isn't something that stops you. It's feedback. Obstacles aren't walls. They're challenges to overcome. And your body and mind, energized by this belief, start taking action that actually brings your goals into reality. Here's the reality that most people miss. Belief doesn't just change your mindset. It changes your energy, your behavior, and the way the universe responds to you. When you walk into a room with unwavering belief, people notice it. Opportunities notice it. Life itself notices it. Your belief becomes a signal to the world that you are ready to receive, ready to act, ready to succeed. And the more you act in alignment with that belief, the stronger it becomes. It feeds on itself. This is why belief is the birthplace of every breakthrough, because it literally creates the conditions for breakthrough to occur. I want you to picture the last time you achieved something significant, something that at the time felt impossible. I want you to remember that moment before it happened. The moment you weren't sure, the moment you doubted, the moment it could have gone either way. What made the difference wasn't luck. It wasn't circumstance. It wasn't even talent in most cases. What made the difference was the belief that you could and would make it happen. That belief propelled you forward when doubt tried to hold you back. That belief made you notice opportunities you would have otherwise missed. That belief gave you the resilience to push through when things got tough. And the same principle applies to everything you are pursuing now. I know sometimes it feels like belief is fragile, like it's easy to lose when life throws challenges at you. But belief is strongest when you anchor it in a higher truth. Your capacity is greater than any temporary setback. Your potential is bigger than any obstacle. And the path forward always exists, even if it's not visible yet. When you nurture that belief, when you protect it, when you commit to it as a non-negotiable part of your identity, your life begins to respond in ways that surprise even you. Doors that were once closed start to open. Connections you never imagined appear at exactly the right time. Opportunities that seemed random start to line up like they were always meant for you. And here's the most important thing. Belief doesn't just change your life, it changes how you see yourself. You start to move from a place of waiting for life to happen to a place where you create the conditions for life to happen for you. You take responsibility for your outcomes. You stop blaming circumstances, other people, or bad luck. Instead, you realize the power you've had all along, the power to shape your life through the lens of belief, the power to see opportunity instead of obstacle, the power to act with certainty even when the path isn't clear. That's how every transformation begins. So I want you to commit to this moment right here, right now. Decide that your belief will no longer be passive. Decide that you will see every challenge as a doorway, every setback as a lesson, every delay as a signal that life is preparing something greater for you. Let your belief be bold, relentless, and unwavering. Let it guide your thoughts, your actions, and your energy. Let it magnetize opportunities, people, and resources toward you. And understand this, every step you take in alignment with that belief is a step toward a life that right now may feel impossible, but is actually waiting for you. Because when you truly believe that life is on your side, that opportunities are always available, and that you have the capacity to create the outcome you desire, the entire world begins to shift in your favor. Believe and you will see. Now let's talk about focus, because this is where belief starts to become action. You see, your mind is a magnet. It doesn't just sit there passively waiting for life to happen. It pulls toward itself what you consistently feed it. Whatever you focus on, whatever you give your attention to, grows. That's the simple truth. If your focus is on what's missing, on what could go wrong, on the obstacles in your path, your energy follow that focus, and suddenly your world becomes proof that life is hard, that opportunities are scarce, that things never go your way. And most people don't even realize it's happening. They think they're just living life, but in reality, their attention is shaping their world. But here's the exciting part. It works the same way for possibility, for abundance, for opportunity. The moment you consciously decide to focus on what you want, on what's possible, on the doors that are opening for you instead of the doors that are closing, your mind starts scanning your environment differently. You start noticing solutions that were there all along. You start seeing connections that you didn't see before. You start hearing the whispers of opportunity that most people walk right past. It's like flipping a switch. Suddenly, you're not just hoping for things to go your way, you're actually beginning to magnetize them toward yourself. I want you to think about a time in your life when you were completely focused on a goal, when you were laser focused, when your attention was unwavering. Maybe it was in school, at work, or in a personal project. What happened? You probably found ways to make it happen that you never expected. You probably noticed people, information, circumstances that aligned perfectly to help you. That's not coincidence. That's your mind pulling toward you what you are consistently giving energy to. Focus is a force. Focus is a magnet. Focus is one of the most underrated tools for creating the life you want. Here's the thing, energy flows where attention goes, and attention is under your control. Most people are reactive, letting their attention be hijacked by fear, doubt, social media, opinions, or the endless noise of the world. But when you take control of your focus, when you intentionally direct your attention to what matters, something shifts inside you. You stop being a victim of circumstance. You start being a creator of your own life. And once that happens, you begin to realize that the universe is always responding to your energy. It doesn't respond to half-hearted hope or passive wishing. It responds to the clarity of your attention and the certainty behind your focus. I want you to understand that focusing on what you want is not about denial or ignoring challenges. It's not about pretending things are perfect. It's about deliberately seeing where to place your energy so that you amplify what serves your growth and minimize what holds you back. When you focus on solutions instead of problems, on possibilities instead of limitations, on what can be done instead of what hasn't been done, your brain begins to organize itself around those possibilities. You start thinking differently, acting differently, noticing differently. You start to align your actions with your vision without even trying. And here's something people often miss. Focus creates momentum. It's like turning a wheel. The more consistently you focus on opportunities, on solutions, on the positive possibilities in your life, the faster that wheel spins, the stronger your momentum becomes, and the more the world starts to respond to your energy. Challenges no longer stop you. They become fuel. Obstacles no longer intimidate you. They become stepping stones. Doubts no longer paralyze. They become signals to refine your strategy. This is the power of deliberate focus. It literally reshapes your world from the inside out. Most people wait for the right time to focus. They wait until life is easier, until circumstances are perfect, until the stars align. But let me tell you this, the perfect time will never come. Life will always throw challenges. Opportunities will always be disguised as hard work. The key is to focus where you can, to direct your attention where it matters, and to let that focus pull the rest of your life into alignment. When you do that consistently, the world starts to make sense in ways it never did before. Doors open, people appear, opportunities line up, and your belief, the one we talked about earlier, finds fertile ground to grow and flourish. Focus is not just a mental exercise, it's a physical and emotional one too, where your attention goes, your energy follows, and your energy drives your actions. If you spend your time ruminating, worrying, or doubting, your actions will reflect that energy and results will feel out of reach. But when you consistently focus on what's possible, when you consistently imagine and act on your vision, your energy changes, your body changes, your confidence grows, and suddenly action becomes effortless. Your steps become aligned, your decisions become sharper, your path becomes clearer. I want you to imagine a magnet. If you place a magnet near steel, what happens? The steel moves toward the magnet. The same principle applies to your mind and your focus. You are the magnet, and what you focus on, what you energize and give your attention to, moves toward you. Opportunities, solutions, ideas, people, they are all drawn to your energy. But here's the catch. If your attention is scattered, if your focus is weak, if your energy is divided between doubt, fear, and distraction, the magnet is weak. You get fragments, you get partial results, you get delays. But when your focus is sharp, when your attention is deliberate, when your energy is fully committed, you become irresistible to opportunity. You pull things toward you effortlessly. And it's not just external results that shift, it's internal transformation too. When you focus on what you want, your mind rewires itself. Neural pathways strengthen, confidence grows, creativity blossoms, resilience develops. Your emotions align with possibility rather than limitation. And all of this compounds over time. Focus is not a one-time effort, it's a habit, a muscle, a way of seeing the world. And the stronger your focus, the more your life shifts in ways that feel almost magical, but it's really just the natural result of your energy being directed toward what you truly desire. So I want you to commit today to mastering your focus. Decide that your attention will no longer be a passive force in your life. Decide that you will consciously choose where to place it. Decide that you will scan your world for possibility, for opportunity, for solutions, for the doors that are opening instead of closing. And understand this, every moment you invest in deliberate, purposeful focus is a moment that accelerates your results, strengthens your belief, and pulls your life into alignment with your highest potential. Because the truth is this, what you focus on grows, what you energize expands, what you believe and act on becomes your reality. Focus and life begins to respond. I want you to pause for a moment and really hear this. You don't get what you want in life. You get what you are. That's not a cliche. It's one of the most powerful truths about how transformation works. Every result you've ever experienced, every breakthrough, every struggle, every success, it all comes from who you are at your core. Not your circumstances, not your education, not your luck, not even your effort alone. It comes from the identity you've built for yourself, your habits, your decisions, your focus, your beliefs. They all stem from that identity. So if you want a new result, if you want a different life, it's not enough to want it or hope for it. You must first become the kind of person who naturally produces that result. Most people spend their lives chasing results without ever stopping to ask, who do I need to become to have this life? They want more money, more freedom, more love, more recognition, but they are still operating from an old identity that isn't aligned with those outcomes. And that's why so many people work harder and harder and feel stuck. You can't outdo an identity that's not ready for the next level. It's like trying to plant a tree in barren soil. You can water it, you can fertilize it, you can talk to it, but until the soil itself is transformed, the tree will struggle to grow. Your identity is that soil. Your beliefs, values, and self-perception create the environment where results either thrive or wither. So what does this mean for you? It means that transformation doesn't start with the outside. It starts with the inside. Before you chase success, before you chase opportunities, before you chase recognition or achievement, You must first upgrade who you are. You must decide that you are the kind of person who expects, demands, and produces results at a higher level. And I'm not talking about pretending or faking it. I'm talking about fundamentally changing the story you tell yourself, the habits you live by, and the standards you hold yourself to. Think about it. What are the habits, beliefs, and standards that define you today? Are they helping you create the life you desire, or are they keeping you small? Are they aligned with the results you say you want, or are they anchored in fear, doubt, and limitation? Every single action you take flows from your identity. You make decisions based on who you believe you are. You push yourself or hold yourself back based on what you believe is possible for you. And the truth is, if you want to produce extraordinary results, you must first embody an extraordinary identity. Now, upgrading your identity doesn't happen overnight. It's not a magic switch. It's a process. It's about deciding every single day who you are going to be, what standards you're going to live by, and how you're going to respond to life. It's about modeling the mindset, habits, and behaviors of the person who already produces the results you desire. If you want to be successful, start thinking, acting, and speaking like someone who is already successful. If you want to be confident, start choosing actions that build courage, even when fear is screaming at you. Your identity isn't just what you say you are. It's what your consistent actions and choices prove every day. Here's something most people don't realize. Identity is contagious. Who you are, what you believe about yourself, and how you act shapes everything around you. Your relationships, your opportunities, your environment, they all respond to your internal state. When you elevate your identity, you elevate everything else in your life. You stop waiting for the world to give you permission. You stop looking for external validation. You start commanding your life from a place of certainty, strength, and aligned action. And when you do this consistently, life begins to bend toward you in ways that feel almost effortless. Let me be clear. Upgrading your identity is not about ego. It's not about pretending you are something you are not. It's about becoming the truest, most capable version of yourself. It's about removing the layers of doubt, fear, and limitation that have been holding you back. It's about saying to yourself, I am no longer the person who accepts smallness. I am the person who is capable, deserving, and ready for the results I seek. And here's the incredible truth. The moment you start living from that upgraded identity, your actions, decisions, and focus automatically align with it. You no longer have to force progress. The momentum builds naturally. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you truly acted like the person you want to become? When was the last time your behavior, your choices, and your standards reflected not who you were yesterday, but who you are becoming today? If you're honest with yourself, there's probably a gap. And that gap is where most people get stuck. They want results without evolving their identity. But here's the secret. The gap is bridgeable. Every choice, every action, every thought can be aligned with the person you are becoming. And every time you do, the soil of your life becomes fertile for the results you desire. This is why habits matter so much. Habits are the daily pro of your identity. They are the physical manifestation of who you believe you are. If you say you are a healthy, disciplined, successful, abundant person, your habits must reflect that. Every choice to eat well, move, read, learn, invest in growth, or take bold action is a vote for your upgraded identity. And the more consistent those votes are, the stronger your identity becomes, and the more naturally your results follow. Identity is not a one-time declaration. It's a daily practice. And here's something even more powerful. When you operate from an upgraded identity, challenges no longer define you. Obstacles become tests, setbacks become lessons, and criticism becomes fuel. You stop being reactive to life's circumstances because your sense of self and your standards are stronger than any temporary situation. You don't need every piece of external validation. You don't need constant reassurance. You have an internal compass, an internal authority that guides your actions and keeps you aligned with your vision no matter what happens. The most important question you can ask yourself every day is this: who do I need to become to achieve the results I desire? Not what should I do, not what should I try, but who do I need to become? Because once you answer that question and start living in alignment with it, life responds. Doors open, people show up, opportunities appear, and results that once felt out of reach start flowing naturally. Your identity becomes the foundation for everything else in your life. And every breakthrough, every success, every moment of growth starts here. So I want you to commit right here, right now, to an upgraded identity. Decide that you are the person who produces extraordinary results. Decide that you are the person who takes responsibility for your life. Decide that you are the person who sees challenges as fuel, who sees setbacks as lessons, who takes bold action even when fear is present. And then let your actions, your habits, and your focus reflect that identity every single day. Because who you are is not just who you are today, it's who you are becoming. And what you become determines everything you will achieve, become, and your life will follow. Now let's talk about action, because this is where belief and identity begin to produce real results. Most people think they need to feel confident before they act. Wait for the perfect moment, for the perfect opportunity, for the perfect emotion to show up before they take that first step. But the truth is, confidence doesn't come before action. It comes because of action. Every bold step you take, every choice you make in alignment with your goals, sends a signal to your mind, your body, and even the universe saying, I am committed, I am ready, I am becoming unstoppable. Action is the bridge between who you are today and the life you're capable of creating. Think about it. How many times have you waited for certainty, for perfect timing, for the stars to align, only to find that nothing moved? How many times did fear or doubt whisper in your ear, convincing you to stay small, to wait, to hold back? That hesitation, that waiting costs you far more than failure ever could, because failure is temporary, but the cost of inaction is permanent. It steals time, it steals momentum, it steals opportunities that may never come again. Action, even imperfect action, even action in the presence of fear, builds momentum. It creates results. It transforms your belief. Here's what most people don't understand. Movement creates clarity. When you act, then when the path isn't clear, your brain begins to organize itself around solutions. Your creativity kicks in. You notice people, resources, and opportunities that were invisible before. You gain feedback. You adjust. You learn. You grow. Action is not just a response, it's a teacher. It shows you what works, what doesn't, and who you really are in the process. And every time you act in alignment with your belief, that belief grows stronger. Confidence doesn't come from waiting. It comes from proving to yourself over and over that you are capable. Most people underestimate the power of small, consistent actions. They think transformation requires massive leaps, grand gestures, or huge risks. But the truth is, it's the daily repeated actions that compound over time that create unstoppable momentum. Every decision to follow through, every choice to push past fear, every step you take toward your vision, no matter how small, sends a signal to your brain. I am becoming the person who can achieve this. And over time, those signals accumulate, rewiring your brain, reinforcing your identity, and aligning your life with your goals. Now, I want you to think about the last time you took bold action in your life. Maybe it was a decision to change jobs, start a business, speak up, or pursue a dream that felt impossible. How did it feel before you took the step? Probably scary, probably uncomfortable, probably uncertain. But once you acted, once you moved forward, even in a small way, you felt something shift. You felt momentum build. You felt proof that you were capable. That proof doesn't come from thinking, it comes from doing. And that's why action is so critical. It's not about being fearless. It's about acting despite fear. It's about choosing courage and movement over hesitation and doubt. Here's another truth. Most people overthink, overanalyze, and overplan, hoping that the perfect action will appear. But the perfect action rarely shows up. Life rarely gives you the perfect conditions. The people who succeed are not the ones who wait. They're the ones who act. They start before they're ready. They take imperfect steps and adjust along the way. They understand that momentum is created through motion, not planning, and that every action you take in alignment with your purpose builds confidence, clarity, and results. Action also magnifies belief. Belief is pow. IFUL, but it remains theoretical until you do something about it. When you act on your belief, you give it evidence. You create proof in your life that what you imagine, what you committed to, what you envisioned is actually possible. That proof then fuels further action and the cycle accelerates. You start to see opportunities everywhere. Challenges become stepping stones. Doubts become signals to refine your strategy, not stop. Action transforms belief from an idea to reality. I want you to understand that this is not about reckless action. It's not about moving blindly or hoping for the best. It's about deliberate action aligned with your vision and your identity. It's about making decisions that reflect the person you're becoming. It's about stepping into responsibility, knowing that your results are a direct outcome of your choices. And the beauty of this is that every step you take, even when it's small or imperfect, creates momentum that makes the next step easier. Movement creates clarity, momentum creates confidence, and confidence creates results that seemed impossible before you moved. Many people wait for certainty, but the reality is that certainty is built of action. You cannot know what's possible until you take a step, until you engage, until you participate in the process of creation. Action is the feedback loop that allows you to test your beliefs, refine your approach, and prove to yourself that you are capable. Every bold move you make teaches you something about life, about opportunities, and most importantly, about yourself. And that self-knowledge becomes the fuel that powers your next level of action. Here's the truth that separates those who achieve from those who don't. Action trumps everything else. You can have belief, identity, focus, vision, but without action, none of it materializes. Results are not given. They are earned through consistent, aligned, and courageous action. And action is not a one-time event. It is a pattern, a habit, a lifestyle. It's what you do repeatedly, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's uncertain, even when the results aren't immediate. That's how breakthroughs happen. That's how momentum builds. That's how you move from dreaming about a life you want to actually living it. So I want you to commit today to taking action. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when conditions are perfect. Today. Start with one bold step that moves you closer to your vision. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be forward. And once you take that step, take the next and the next. Each one reinforces your belief, strengthens your identity, builds momentum, and opens doors that were invisible before. Action is the ultimate teacher, the ultimate builder of confidence, and the ultimate proof that you are capable of creating the life you desire. Remember, the person you are becoming is defined by the actions you take today, not by the excuses you make, not by the doubts you feel, not by the fears you experience. Action is the bridge between your current reality and your highest potential. Without it, nothing changes. With it, everything becomes possible. Move and momentum will follow. Now, I want you to consider this. Life responds to certainty, not doubt. This is one of the most powerful forces you can harness, yet most people never truly understand it. You see, when you move through life unsure, hesitant, constantly questioning yourself, the world mirrors that uncertainty back to you. Opportunities feel scarce, people hesitate, doors stay closed, and results stall. But when you move with certainty, when you take a stand, when you decide with clarity and confidence, life begins to respond in kind. The universe doesn't just reward action, it rewards conviction. It rewards those who are unwavering in their commitment to their vision, those who know exactly where they're going and refuse to be swayed by temporary obstacles or the doubts of others. Think about the people you admire, the leaders, the innovators, the trailblazers. What sets them apart is not that they have more information, more talent, or more luck than anyone else. It's that they move with absolute certainty in their purpose. They have a clarity about who they are, what they want, and the steps they will take to get there. They don't wait for perfect conditions. They don't get paralyzed by fear of failure. They make decisions and take action with unwavering certainty. And because of that, life begins to align with them. People see it. Opportunities sense it. Circumstances bend in their favor. Certainty is magnetic. It pulls what you need toward you. Here's the reality that most people miss. Doubt is costly. It's invisible, but it is a weight that holds you down, a force that keeps you small, a voice that whispers, wait, not yet. Maybe you can't. Doubt kills momentum before it even begins. It makes you hesitate when action is required, second guess yourself when clarity is needed, and shrink when boldness is demanded. But certainty does the exact opposite. Certainty creates momentum. Certainty opens doors. Certainty convinces people that you are trustworthy, capable, and ready. It is the unseen force that transforms intention into reality. I want you to feel this. When you are certain, even in the face of challenges, the world begins to respond differently to you. Obstacles lose their power to stop you. People start to see you differently. They see confidence, competence, and purpose. Opportunities that once seemed unreachable now appear, sometimes in ways that surprise you. Life begins to shift because you've moved from a place of hesitation to a place of alignment. Certainty is not arrogance. It's not rigid stubbornness. It's a deep, unwavering trust in yourself and in the path you are creating, even when you can't yet see the full picture. Most people think certainty is something you either have or you don't. But the truth is, certainty is a choice, a decision. Why? Make moment by moment. It's choosing to believe in your capacity, your vision, and your preparation, even when conditions are uncertain. It's choosing to act with clarity rather than wavering. It's deciding that no matter what obstacles appear, you will stay committed to your path. And the more consistently you make this choice, the stronger it becomes. Certainty grows through practice, through action, through repeated decisions to trust yourself and the process. I want you to imagine a moment when you felt completely certain about something in your life. Maybe it was a decision to pursue a relationship, a career, a move, or a personal goal. Remember how that certainty felt. You moved forward with energy, confidence, and clarity. Even if you faced challenges along the way, you didn't waver. You didn't question yourself at every turn. You trusted in your ability to navigate whatever came up. That is the power of certainty. It gives you a foundation that fear and doubt cannot shake. It allows you to keep moving even when the road ahead is unclear. And here's the key. Certainty is contagious. When you move with certainty, people notice. Your confidence influences how others respond. Indeed to you. Opportunities seem to present themselves. Doors you thought were closed start to open. The world aligns with those who are clear, focused, and unwavering in their purpose. This is why some people seem to achieve results effortlessly, while others struggle endlessly. The difference is certainty. It is the energy you carry that attracts the right people, the right situations, and the right outcomes. Certainty also changes how you deal with challenges. Life will always throw difficulties your way. Obstacles are inevitable. Delays happen. People disappoint you. But certainty gives you the ability to see challenges not as threats, but as signals, as guides, as lessons that are meant to help you grow. When you are certain, setbacks don't paralyze you. They teach you. They redirect you. They sharpen your strategy. Certainty allows you to maintain momentum when others are stopped by fear or confusion. It's not about avoiding problems. It's about being unshakable in the presence of them. And here's the profound truth. Certainty is not about knowing the future. You will never have complete control over what happens. You cannot predict every twist and turn. But certainty is about company. Controlling your response, controlling your focus, and controlling your commitment to your vision. It's about saying, I trust myself. I trust my preparation. I trust that the path is unfolding in my favor, even if I cannot yet see it. That trust transforms your energy, your actions, and ultimately your results. Most people underestimate how much their certainty or lack of it affects their reality. You can have great ideas, incredible plans, and strong beliefs, but if you move through life with hesitation and doubt, those things will never fully materialize. Certainty is the engine that turns your internal beliefs and identity into visible, tangible results. It is the force that magnetizes resources, people, and opportunities toward you. And the more certain you become, the more unstoppable you feel, and the more the world begins to work with you rather than against you. So I want you to commit right now to choosing certainty in your life. Decide that from this moment forward, you will move with clarity, conviction, and confidence no matter what challenges appear. Decide that your focus will be on solutions, on opportunity, on what is possible, not on doubt or fear. Decide that you will trust yourself and trust the process, even when you cannot yet see the entire path. This is the secret that separates those who succeed from those who hesitate, those who thrive from those who settle, and those who create extra. Ordinary results from those who simply wish for them. Because when you move with certainty, life begins to respond. Doors open. Opportunities align, challenges transform into lessons, and momentum builds in ways you never thought possible. Certainty is not something you wait for, it is something you create. It is the choice to be unshakable, to trust your capacity, to act decisively, and to step boldly into your future regardless of what life throws at you. Move with certainty and the world begins to move with you. Now let's talk about letting go, because this is where most people get stuck without even realizing it. You see, you cannot fully receive, you cannot fully grow, and you cannot fully step into your highest potential if you are holding on to fear, scarcity, or comparison. It's like trying to fill a cup that already has dirt in it. You can pour in all the water you want, but it will never reach the top until you clear out what doesn't belong. Holding on to lack, holding on to resentment, holding on to old stories about why life is unfair keeps you small. It takes energy. It keeps you trapped, and it blocks the flow of abundance that is already trying to come to you. See, people think letting go is about weakness. They think letting go is about giving up, surrendering, or accepting defeat. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Letting go is strength. Letting go is power. Letting go is creating space in your life for something greater to emerge. When you release fear, doubt, scarcity, and attachment to what no longer serves you, you create room for new ideas, new people, new opportunities, and new energy to enter. You cannot receive what you want if your hands are clenched around what you no longer need. Think about it for a moment. How many times have you held on to past failures, past disappointments, past grudges, or old identities that no longer serve you? How often have you carried the weight of scarcity thinking, believing that there is never enough, that opportunities are limited, or that you are not worthy of what you desire? Every time you do, you are unconsciously blocking the flow of abundance into your life. You are closing doors before they even open. And the moment you decide to let go, the moment you consciously release what is holding you back, the world begins to respond. Energy shifts. Clarity appears. Opportunity emerges in ways that feel almost effortless. Letting go is not a one-time act. It's a daily practice. It's a decision you make over and over again to release what is no longer serving you. To let go of fear, you must first identify it. To let go of scarcity, you must first recognize it in your thoughts and actions. To let go of comparison, you must first acknowledge that every time you compare yourself to someone else, you are blocking your own progress. Awareness is the first step and release is the second. And when you combine awareness with deliberate action to let go, you create space for abundance to flow freely into your life. I want you to understand that holding on to what doesn't serve you is a form of resistance. Resistance blocks momentum, keeps you trapped in old patterns, and prevents you from stepping fully into your potential. Most people fight against life without realizing that the fight itself is what is keeping them small. They struggle, they resist, they cling to past mistakes, and they wonder why nothing seems to work. But the solution is simple, though not easy. Release. Release the past, release the fear, release the scarcity thinking, and release the need to control. Every outcome. The moment you do, life begins to shift. Letting go also requires trust. You must trust that by releasing what no longer serves you, you're not losing anything. In fact, you are gaining everything. When you let go of fear, you gain freedom. When you let go of resentment, you gain peace. When you let go of scarcity, you gain abundance. Trusting this process is what allows transformation to occur naturally. It is not about forcing change. It is about creating the space for change to enter. The more you resist, the heavier your load becomes. The more you trust, the lighter and more expansive your life feels. Many people confuse letting go with doing nothing. They think letting go is passive, but it's not. Letting go is the most active, powerful, and intentional step you can take. It's choosing to release what is holding you back so you can move forward unencumbered. It's taking responsibility for your energy, your mindset, and your life. When you do this consistently, you become unstoppable. You stop wasting energy on things that don't matter. You stop being attached to outcomes that drain you, and you begin to focus on what truly matters: growth, abundance, contribution, and the pursuit of your highest potential. I want you to reflect on your own life. What are you holding on to that is keeping you small? Maybe it's fear of failure, fear of rejection, or fear of the unknown. Maybe it's resentment towards someone who hurt you, or guilt about a mistake you made years ago. Maybe it's scarcity thinking, believing that there's never enough money, never enough time, never enough opportunities. Whatever it is, recognize that holding on to it is a choice. And the moment you decide to let it go, the moment you consciously release it, the weight lifts. You feel lighter, freer, and more capable of stepping into the life that is waiting for you. And here's something even more profound. Letting go doesn't just benefit you, it benefits everyone around you. When you release fear, scarcity, and resentment, your energy changes. You become more present, more vibrant, more inspiring. People are naturally drawn to that energy. Opportunities appear in ways that were previously invisible. Relationships improve. Doors open that you didn't even know existed. Letting go is not just an internal shift, it is a magnet for transformation in your entire life. Letting go also opens the door to creativity and innovation. When your mind is cluttered with fear, worry, and scarcity thinking, your ability to see possibilities is limited. You operate from constraint, not expansion. But when you release, when you free yourself from the weight of what no longer serves you, your mind begins to expand. You start noticing solutions you hadn't seen before. You start imagining possibilities that once seemed impossible. You start taking bold steps that feel natural because your energy is no longer trapped in resistance. Letting go is the key that unlocks creative momentum. This is why the most successful people in life and business are masters at letting go. They don't cling to what's comfortable, what's familiar, or what's convenient. They release outdated beliefs, unproductive habits, and toxic energy without hesitation. They create space for new ideas, new people, and new opportunities to flow into their lives. And this is not luck. This is deliberate, intentional action. They understand that holding on to what doesn't serve them only blocks the flow of what does. So I want you to make a decision today. Decide to let go of fear, scarcity, resentment, and doubt. Decide to release the stories that are keeping you small. Decide to unclench your fists and create space for abundance, opportunity, and growth. Letting go is not a one-time act. It is a daily choice, a practice, a discipline. Every time you choose release over resistance, you take another step toward the life you are meant to live. Because when you let go of what no longer serves you, when you release fear, scarcity, and limitation, you make room for life to flow to you effortlessly. Release and abundance finds its way to you. Now, let's talk about your environment, because this is one of the most underestimated forces shaping your life. Most people think that their results, their success, their happiness, and their growth are determined solely by their talent, effort, or luck. But the truth is, your environment, the people you surround yourself with, the places you spend your time, the influences you absorb every day, has a massive impact on the trajectory of your life. You rise or fall to the level of the standards, beliefs, and energy of those around you. Your environment either fuels your growth or limits your potential and the choice of who and what you let into your life is one of the most powerful decisions you can make. I want you to think about the people closest to you, the ones you spend the most time with. Do they inspire you? Do they challenge you to be better? Do they push you forward or hold you back? Most people underestimate how contagious energy is. If you spend hours with people who are constantly negative, doubtful, or focused on limitations, their energy becomes your energy. Their doubts start to seep into your mind. Their fears begin to influence your actions, and their scarcity thinking can limit your vision. On the other hand, if you surround yourself with people who are driven, positive, ambitious, and supportive, their energy fuels your growth. Their belief in possibility inspires your own. Their momentum pulls you forward. Your environment is a mirror of your potential. It amplifies whatever energy you allow it to. Now, this doesn't mean you cut everyone out of your life who isn't perfect or aligned with your goals. It's not about judgment or arrogance. It's about awareness. It's about recognizing that the people and situations you allow into your inner circle directly influence the quality of your decisions, teach strength of your belief, and the results you produce. If you want to elevate your life, you have to elevate your environment. You have to be intentional about who you spend time with, what media you consume, what habits you allow, and what standards you uphold in the company you keep. Think about it like this. Your environment sets the bar for what is possible in your life. If you're constantly surrounded by mediocrity, complaining, or low expectations, that becomes your standard. You start to unconsciously accept less than you are capable of. You start to believe that smallness is normal. But if you immerse yourself in excellence, in high standards, in people who demand the best from themselves and from you, your expectations expand. You begin to see new possibilities. You begin to raise your standards. You begin to create results that were previously outside your reach. Your environment shapes your identity, your habits, and ultimately your destiny. I want you to reflect on the times when you've been around high-performing, inspired, and motivated people. Remember how it felt. Maybe their energy was infectious. Maybe their belief in themselves challenged you to believe in you. Maybe their focus and discipline motivated you to raise your own standards. That's the power of environment. It's not just about inspiration, it's about elevation. The people around you hold a mirror to your potential. And when you choose wisely, they reflect the highest version of yourself. But here's the challenge most people face. Environments are often invisible influences. You may not realize how much your energy is being shaped by the people, the media, the habits, and even the physical spaces you inhabit. You may think that your results are independent of your surroundings, but they are not. Your environment is a constant feedback loop that shapes your thoughts, your beliefs, your focus, and your actions. If you want extraordinary results, you cannot leave your environment to chance. You must deliberately curate it to support your growth and magnify your potential. Let's take a moment to consider habits and routines. Your environment includes not just people, but also the structures and routines that surround you. Are your habits aligned with who you want to become? Are your routines fueling your growth, your health, and your momentum? Or are they keeping you stuck in old patterns, draining your energy and limiting your progress? Environment is not just physical, it's mental and emotional. It's the energy you allow into your mind, the thoughts you entertain, the standards you uphold. Every choice you make in structuring your environment sends a signal to your mind about what is possible, what is acceptable, and what is expected of you. And here's the good news. You have control over your environment. You may not be able to change every circumstance in your life, but you can control who and what you allow into your inner circle. You can choose your friends, mentors, colleagues, and the media you consume. You can decide which habits you will adopt and which ones you will release. You can create spaces that inspire creativity, focus, and growth. By taking control of your environment, you take control of the energy, standards, and expectations that shape your results. Most people underestimate how powerful this is because they underestimate how influential the small daily inputs in their life are. The books you read, the conversations you engage in, the podcasts you listen to, the people you follow, the places you go, all of these shape your thought, HTS, your beliefs, and ultimately your results. If you are constantly feeding yourself negative, limited, or small thinking, you will unconsciously absorb that and your life will reflect it. But if you consistently feed yourself with energy, insight, inspiration, and high standards, your mind and your life begin to expand naturally. Environment shapes identity and identity shapes results. I want you to consider this. If you continue to surround yourself with the same energy, the same thinking, the same limitations you've always had, your life will remain the same. But if you are willing to intentionally choose a new environment, to elevate the standards of the people you spend time with, to immerse yourself in inspiration, growth, and possibility, your life will begin to change in ways you never thought possible. Elevation is contagious, and the more you immerse yourself in it, the more it becomes part of who you are. And here's the most important part. The responsibility is yours. You cannot blame your results on anyone else or anything else. You are the architect of your environment. You are the curator of the energy, people, habits, and standards that shape your life. Wow. You take responsibility for this. You empower yourself to raise your standards, increase your focus, and magnetize opportunities toward you. Environment is not something passive. It is something you create, manage, and leverage to support your highest potential. So I want you to make a commitment today. Decide that your environment will no longer be a limiting factor. Decide that you will surround yourself with people who challenge you, inspire you, and lift your energy. Decide that you will create routines, habits, and spaces that support your growth. Decide that you will consciously consume media, knowledge, and influence that expand your mind and your possibilities. The energy you immerse yourself in shapes the person you become, the actions you take, and the results you produce. Because when your environment fuels your belief, your identity, and your momentum, life begins to expand in ways you cannot create alone. Surround yourself with greatness, and greatness becomes your standard. Now, let's talk about gratitude, because this is the ultimate accelerator for everything we've discussed so far. Gratitude is not just a polite response to life. It's a force, a frequency, a lens that shifts everything you experience. Most people think gratitude is about saying thank you. When things are good, when life is easy, when everything is going your way. But the truth is, gratitude is about how you choose to see life at every moment, even when it's hard, even when it feels unfair, even when the results aren't immediate. Gratitude is the key that turns what you have into enough and opens the door for more to flow into your life. Think about it. When you focus on what's missing, what's wrong, or what hasn't happened yet, your energy tightens, your mind narrows, and your heart closes. You start attracting more of the same scarcity thinking, more obstacles, more resistance. But when you focus on what is present, what is working, what you can celebrate right now, your energy expands, your mind opens, and your heart becomes a magnet for abundance. Gratitude shifts the entire field of possibility around you. It doesn't ignore challenges. It transforms how you relate to them, how you learn from them, and how you move forward despite them. I want you to pause for a moment and picture your life. Picture everything you have achieved, every relationship that matters, every lesson that shaped you, every resource that supported you, every opportunity that came when you least expected it. Now, feel it. Feel the weight of all of that, the richness of all of that. That is what gratitude does. It tunes you into the abundance that is already present. It trains your mind to notice the invisible support, the hidden opportunities, the blessings that are woven into your everyday life. And the more you practice it, the more life responds by delivering even more to be grateful for. Gratitude is not passive. It is active. It is intentional. It is a practice you choose every single day. It starts with awareness, becoming conscious of what is already working in your favor. Then it becomes appreciation, acknowledging it fully, feeling it deeply, and letting it resonate within you. and then it becomes action. It changes the way you interact with the world, the way you make decisions, the way you move forward with energy and confidence. Gratitude is a multiplier. It amplifies belief, strengthens identity, fuels action, deepens focus, enhances certainty, accelerates momentum, and expands the possibilities in your environment. Most people underestimate gratitude because they only apply it to the obvious things: health, family, friends, income. But the real power of attitude comes when you apply it to everything. Even the challenges, the setbacks, the lessons that felt painful at the time, every obstacle you have overcome, every failure you have endured, every lesson you learned the hard way, these are all gifts. They are proof that you are capable, resilient, and growing. Gratitude doesn't make life perfect. It makes life yours. It allows you to recognize that even when things are not ideal, there is still value, still learning, still energy to move forward. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you truly practiced gratitude in the middle of a challenge? When was the last time you chose to see the opportunity, the lesson, or the silver lining in a situation that felt impossible? Most people wait until life is easy to feel grateful, but the real growth, the real shift comes when you choose gratitude in the hard moments. When you do, something incredible happens. You stop resisting life. You stop fighting reality. You start working with it. You start leveraging it. You start turning obstacles into momentum. Gratitude transforms resistance into fuel. And here's something even more profound. Gratitude changes your identity. It changes the WA. You see yourself, the way you see your potential, and the way you interact with the world. A grateful person is not small, not limited, not fearful. A grateful person is expansive, powerful, and magnetic. Gratitude allows you to see the opportunities that are always present, the doors that are always opening, the support that is always available, and the momentum that is always building. When you align your identity with gratitude, you align your life with possibility. Gratitude also accelerates action. When you are grateful, your energy expands. You have more focus, more clarity, more courage. You are not drained by resentment, fear, or scarcity thinking. You are energized by abundance, possibility, and momentum. You move faster, you act bolder, and you take steps that you might have avoided before. Gratitude doesn't slow you down. It propels you forward. It makes action easier, clearer, and more aligned with your highest goals. I want you to reflect on the journey we've been on together in this conversation. The journey of belief, focus, identity, action, certainty, letting go, and environment. All of these principles are amplified, accelerated, and empowered by gratitude. Belli, EF becomes stronger when you are grateful for what is already working. Focus becomes sharper when you appreciate the opportunities around you. Identity becomes resilient when you recognize the value in every lesson you've learned. Action becomes effortless when it flows from an abundant, grateful mindset. Certainty becomes unshakable when you trust the support that is already present in your life. Letting go becomes easier when you see the gifts in release. And your environment becomes a magnet for growth when you appreciate and nurture what already serves you. Gratitude is the final piece that ties everything together. It is not optional. It is not secondary. It is the force that converts potential into reality, that transforms effort into results, and that turns a good life into an extraordinary life. Gratitude is the difference between people who struggle endlessly and people who thrive effortlessly. It is the difference between energy wasted on lack and energy invested in expansion. It is the difference between small thinking and magnetic, unstoppable momentum. So I want you to commit today, not tomorrow, not next week, but today, to living in gratitude. Start by noticing what already working, what is already present, and what is already supporting you. Then appreciate it fully. Let it resonate in your body, in your mind, and in your heart. Then let that energy guide your actions, your focus, your decisions, and your interactions. Let gratitude become a habit, a lens, a lifestyle, and watch how life responds. Because the truth is this: when you are grateful, you amplify everything else in your life. Your belief grows stronger. Your focus becomes sharper. Your identity becomes unstoppable. Your actions become aligned. Your certainty becomes unshakable. Your capacity to let go expands. Your environment begins to magnetize possibilities to you. Gratitude is not just a feeling. It is the engine that accelerates your transformation and unlocks the life you were meant to live. And here's the most powerful part. Gratitude is always available. It doesn't depend on circumstance, income, relationships, or achievements. It is a choice you make in every moment. You can choose to focus on abundance instead of lack, on possibility instead of limitation, on what is working instead of what is missing. And the moment you do, your energy changes, your perspective shifts, and your life begins to respond. So I want you to take this moment right here, right now, and make a decision. Decide that no matter what happens, no matter the challenge, no matter the setback, you will live with gratitude. Decide that you will recognize the gifts, the lessons, and the opportunities that are already present. Decide that you will let this gratitude guide your belief, your focus, your identity, your action, your certainty, your release, and your environment. Decide that you will live as someone who sees life not as a series of obstacles, but as a field of abundant opportunity, waiting to be received. Because when you embrace gratitude fully, life begins to shift in ways that feel miraculous, but are really just the natural consequence of alignment, energy, and focus. Gratitude amplifies everything you are, everything you do, and everything you are becoming. Live in gratitude, and life flows to you effortlessly.